Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Sarita. I have a big haul well, not a big haul, but a moderate haul from Village Candle and Stonewall Home. And I just reviewed a Stonewall Home candle. It was Jasmine Berry a few days ago. Go check that out if you haven't already, because I do recommend that candle, with the caveat being that the wicks are too small for Stonewall Home candles, and therefore about midway you may need to pour some wax off. They get a new lease on life though. Once you pour the wax off, you can go another inch or so, and then you may need to pour it off again. Generally the first half of the candle burns pretty well, but see, look at those, I don't know if you can see how small those wicks are. Yeah, I mean, they're tiny. They're core wicks, but they're nowhere near as big as Bath & Body Works wicks are. Okay, this is Winter White, by the way. So this one I did buy in a mini a year or two ago, and I liked it. It's basically a lot of the elements of Capri Blue Volcano toned way down. So instead of that zesty citrus thing, all up in here, right? It just brings it down a little bit more subtle, a little bit more classy, and it doesn't have those perfume elements to it, which in my opinion make it a little bit on the heavy side. I'm one of the few people that does not like Volcano from Capri Blue. And I think the things that I dislike about it most is the crazy, zesty, almost carbonated kind of citrus smell. And then I don't like the heavy perfume, feminine perfume angle. There is some amount of, I think they call it mountain greens underneath in the Capri Blue fragrance. And I love those. And I do think it somewhat grounds it and makes it at least a reputable fragrance, even if it's not my cup of tea. This candle definitely bumps up those mountain greens because it's called Winter White. And the big notes are zesty citrus. And I know it says zesty, but it's just far less zesty than the Capri Blue. Definitely think in that category though. All it says here is zesty citrus and fresh cut balsam. And to be honest, yeah, that's kind of what it is. There might be a little bit of an ozone element, and there might also be a little bit of musk as well. But I would say it's primarily a very fresh citrus and balsam, and I really like it. It's soft, it's subtle, and it was on clearance for $10. So I was filling my cart with a lot of those things. And actually, when I originally got it, I was concerned because I don't know if you can see, but that wick is super close to the glass. So I called the company and I was like, I don't think this is safe. I don't really want to burn this. And she was really nice on the phone. She was like, yeah, just send us a picture and we'll go ahead and get that we'll go ahead and get that a replacement out to you. And they did. Although I did get an hour later, I got a message back from the company and they're like, it is safe to burn. That's all I said. It is safe to burn. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, yes, I probably could burn it here. I just don't want to. And I also spent only $10 for it. So on a certain level, I wasn't going to burn the house down with my rage. But at the same time, I did kind of, I didn't think they were going to send me a replacement after that, even though they kind of promised they would. But then a day later, I got a shipping in the mail. They were like, oh, Stonewall Home package is coming your way. And I was like, oh, I guess they did. So now I have two Winter Whites, one of which I would have to burn very carefully. Maybe I'll give it to my nephew, Lawrence. Lawrence, would you like a Winter White candle? Yeah, so that's Winter White. I went ahead and got one of those. There were some other candles that were on clearance. Basically, they're more seasonal ones. So this is a new one for this year. It was Spiced Winter Fruit, and I had not gotten a chance to buy anything from Stonewall Kitchen for a while, so I didn't try it. Spiced Winter Fruit is winter fruit, apple, clove, and ginger. They do have a more extensive list of notes on the website for all of these candles, but just because this is a haul, we're gonna go quickly. If and when I burn these, I will of course give you the more extensive list. But what's really nice is they kind of give you the big, the Cliff Notes version, which I like, on their candle. So winter fruit, and winter fruit, I mean, you're gonna think maybe dried figs, but definitely cranberries, currants, pomegranates. I like plum. It's going to be those kinds of things. And with this kind of dark purple color, that's kind of what you're going to get. This candle is really beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a little on the soft side. I am worried about strength and throw here. This candle could be burned at any point from like September to December. No question. Because with the ginger note in it and with the apple, and it is a discernible apple, but everything is just soft and blended so well. But then it's got those like darker like cranberry currant notes as well. It really could be burned anytime during the fall and during the holiday season. There's just no question. It's just really beautiful. I mean, it's basic on a certain level, but it's just really well done. I'm happy with this candle, so I'm excited to burn that in the fall. I got this one, which was super on clearance. I think it was $5. And it is cinnamon and spice. Cinnamon and spice, the notes are cinnamon, clove, and mandarin. And I almost didn't get it because I was worried with like that red color. I'm like, oh my gosh, what if it's like candy red cinnamon? I hate candy red cinnamon. Ugh. But it did have a ton of like clove notes, like pomander kind of notes. So I was like, maybe it'll be like a really mature like pomander kind of candle. It is not. And it goes super close into that red hot candy range. That said, it's one of the nicer red hot cinnamon candles that I've smelled, and that it's kind of soft. But because the red hot cinnamon candy note is aggressive, it's kind of overwhelming whatever else is there. And I do think there is probably a clove note that is at least kind of trying to like steal or take away some of the thunder of that red hot cinnamon note. It's not my candle. And to be perfectly honest, I will probably give it to someone else who really appreciates that kind of cinnamon. But if that's you, definitely, yeah. All right, and then I have, and this is what I'm really excited about. These are new Village candles, and they're like garden herbal candles. So I am so excited. The big standout is definitely this one, which is tomato basil. Oh, I love tomato candles. And I'm like this one. I think it's great. So the top notes are sun-ripened tomato, fresh basil, and leafy greens. And by top notes, I just mean most prominent notes. And then obviously the more extensive list is on the website. Yes. Oh man, that's nice. I'll tell you what, the most beautiful note in this candle is a strawberry vine. Not a strawberry, I'm sorry, a tomato vine. In fact, you could almost call it tomato vine. I'm getting the slightest nuance of basil, but it is a true basil, like a green basil, a fresh basil. And I am getting tomato flesh. The tomato flesh for me is a little on the sweet side. So definitely think like cherry tomatoes as opposed to like heirloom tomatoes. But yes, the biggest note is it is a tomato vine. I mean, it's not just like a generic green vine. It's a tomato vine. Like when you have the vine and you like break the tomato off of it, and then it's got that little stub there, you know, and you smell the stub that's been like stuck inside that fruit. That's what it smells like. It's not just a generic green vine. It is a tomato vine. And it has that like almost kind of green peppery kind of like warmth to it. But it's not like green pepper. I mean, it's just a true tomato vine. If I could rename the candle, I would rename it tomato vine. I actually don't know if there's enough basil or tomato in here for it to be, oh, so green. It's so green. I really am hoping. I'm hoping against hope. Unfortunately, these are the same wicks, those like grasshopper wicks. So there's that. They've definitely consolidated their manufacturing. So Village Candle and Stonewall, at least in these particular vessels, are going to be very similar. This one does say like Village Candle, and this one has the Stonewall Kitchen Home to it. All right, and then we've got another one. This is, yeah. This is a real disappointment. I've got 3 greenish candles, green, green, and green now. And this one I almost think is unscented. I mean, we always joke about candles being unscented, but I'm pretty sure this one is unscented. Like for a minute, I'm like, did they just forget to put oils in it? Is it like not, it's just a block of wax. And then I rub it like this. Oh, and I can get the barest amount. Okay, so this one is wild sage and cedar, and the prominent notes are wild sage, cedar, and bergamot. I'm smelling like virtually nothing. Almost feels like a fragrance vacuum. Like this is where fragrances go to die. It's like a black hole. When I rub it, I get the vaguest nuance of citrus, but I'm not getting a whole lot else. And maybe sage. I can't say it's very pleasant. And it's on a scale from 1 to 10, it's like a 0.2. So I am not expecting great things from that. That was a real disappointment. This one, this is a standout. This is the other standout right here. And it is Italian Herb Garden. The prominent notes are Italian parsley, crushed thyme, tarragon, and grapefruit zest. Wow. I think, do you remember when Kringle came out with that reserve candle that was like crushed herbs, maybe? Crushed herbs, something like that? And it ended up being like actually like a dry herb candle that had kind of a masculine cologne element to it and was very nice. It was kind of in the direction of like a molten brown fragrance, but on the front of it, they had all these like cascading like green herbs, like they had just been chopped. And it was such a bait and switch because there actually they weren't green, like living herbs. They were like dried herbs, which is also another vibe, but definitely not what the picture is indicating. This is what crushed herbs should have smelled like. No question. These are green herbs all the way. And man, that thyme and sage. I think there's a little sage, although it doesn't, maybe sage isn't mentioned here, but I think sage. Maybe some oregano. It mentions tarragon, but I'm getting more of like the poultry seasonings rather than like a tarragon note. And I'm not getting anything like particularly citrus zesty. I'm not even getting a ton of Italian parsley, to be honest. I mean, this is just straight up like oregano, thyme, maybe some sage. But it's bright. It's so bright. It's so green. It's so unapologetic, and I love it. If you want a tarragon candle, Stonewall Home has a Tarragon Basil candle that is hashtag everything. I've actually reviewed it before, so check that out. That is a fantastic tarragon candle. This one, I'm not smelling the tarragon because it's just being overwhelmed by those other poultry herbs. And then finally we have this one, and I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's Provençal Herbs, I think. It's from like the French region Provence, but it's like the adjectival form of it. Provençal. I'm not sure how it is. But anyway, eucalyptus, rosemary, thyme, lavender, and geranium. And this is very nice too. I would say that lavender is the biggest note here. And actually the thyme and rosemary coming in second. It's soft. It's soft. I'm not getting a ton of eucalyptus, but there's a vague like coolness back behind it, which could be the eucalyptus. I like it. But for me, the standouts are definitely the Italian Herb Garden and the tomato one. And then look at this one that was on clearance, and I've kind of wanted it for a while, pumpkin Scarecrow. I've never smelled it, and I've heard so many good things about it. And I apologize, I don't have the notes on this, so I'm just gonna tell you. But I like opened the lid and I was like, stop. I mean, do you know how many like harvest candles I've smelled? And like, really there are only so many combinations of all of the basic things that we want to smell. How does this candle nail all of them and somehow smell more perfect and more scrumptious and more seasonal than anything I've ever smelled in my life? It's incredible. It's incredible. For me, this is like if pumpkin carving and pumpkin bonfire had a baby from Bath and Body Works, and then somehow, no, I've lost the analogy at this point. It's a combination of like pumpkin carving for sure, which is already fantastic from Bath and Body Works, and pumpkin bonfire, which is already fantastic from Bath and Body Works, and then like maybe a spiced pumpkin like from Yankee Candle. Like it is just all of the things in one. Like if this burns well, I don't even need any other candle. I don't. This is so fantastic. Oh my gosh, now they've had this is a long-standing Halloween candle for them. They also have another one which I like, and it's called like Graveyard Cemetery. That seems redundant. But it's a spooky one with a cemetery thing on it. It's a white candle. I do have a mini of that, and that is quite good as well. So they have a limited range of Halloween candles, and they don't innovate a whole lot. They just keep bringing them back, yeah? But when you've got the best, like, if it isn't broken, why fix it, right? Kringle, I'm looking at you with, like, the 27 candles that you release at Halloween. This is the other approach, which is, we've got something great, bring it out every year. I would buy this every year, no question. Because like back in the day when I did Yankee Candle, like I would buy spiced pumpkin every year. This will become my spiced pumpkin. Provided, of course, that it does burn well. These are core wicks too, but they're a little bit larger than the core wicks on here, I think. Yeah, they are. They're a little larger. They should probably be even larger, but I appreciate the fact that they're trying to get the smallest possible wicks that it is effective, because obviously that is going to cut down on sooting, but I think their wicks needs to be whatever. This candle is worth all of the rest of them. But I do love the tomato, and I do love the Italian herb garden as well, and spiced winter fruit is actually quite nice as well. Nothing beats this, though. This is... Every time I open this jar, I'm like, is it really that good? Like, in your mind now? Wow. Possibly the best fall candle I've ever smelled in my life. And that is saying so much. All right, that's what I've got for you. I will link all of this down below. I'm relatively happy. Many of these candles were like $5. So, like, I'm relatively happy with that. Yeah, there were some misses. Really not happy about Wild Sage and Cedar, because I think I pretty much paid full price for that one. And unless it does look as though it's been like poured on top. So maybe this top layer is concealing what is actually like a fairly good candle underneath. I don't know. That's what I've got for you. I'm excited to start firing these up. The seasonal ones, obviously, I'll hold back for the fall. But these, like, garden ones, we gotta get them up and running, you know? I mean, is this the year of herbs or what? What with Bath and Body Works and then this? I love herbs, but I'm starting to get fatigued. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one.